We're here with Middlewood Women's Basketball head coach Tony Francis. Coach, overall thoughts on the game?
I just told the girls in the locker room they just played a prototypical postseason game, survive and advance. I told the entire program Thursday in the locker room after the win at against Northwest. I said, listen, Saturday is going to be a whole lot different. This team, they battle. He's only got 6 or 7 kids. He's one of the more difficult coaches, and I say this all due respect. Rob is one of the more difficult coaches in the conference to play for, and he admits that. We talked about it before the game, and he is always on his kids. So these kids that are out there don't quit. They haven't quit him, so they're not going to quit in the game. And, they're trying to get ready for postseason as well. So this battle, I expected it. We made some adjustments throughout the game that sometimes we did a really nice job with, which is what you're going to have to do in postseason starting Monday. So hard-fought game. We found a way. That's all that matters.
Coach, it's just been a trend all year. Callie, another great game, 22 points, 16 boards. Gabby had a great game, 19 points. Just talk about your post play and the points in the paint tonight.
Well, I think that, and we've been talking a lot about this all year, especially in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I think that when we play our game, we're playing inside out, and I'm kind of an old school guy like that. Thursday night you saw us with 19 assists, and we shared the ball extremely well. Now, we didn't get the assist tonight, and we didn't share and pass the ball because this defense was physical with you. They didn't allow you to cut and come off your screens, and it didn't leave the passing lanes open we saw Thursday. So we need to get better at handling that physicality, but we want to play inside out. And when we got post players that are down there and can make things happen, now you're going to collapse and we get more kickouts. I thought in the first half we shot too many threes without getting it to the front of the rim, and we talked about it at halftime. But we didn't shoot the 3 ball like we normally do. We didn't shoot the free throw as good as we should. But when you find a way to win, that's all that matters.
Coach, obviously heading into postseason, you want your, like you said before, you want your defense to be creating that offense. You guys held Western underneath their average. You guys obviously held Northwest the other night. Forced 19 turnovers. Can you just talk about the defense play there?
Well, I think when we talk about our defensive play, when we talk a lot about defending the perimeter hard, we wanted to keep Northwest the other night under so many 3-point shots. And, we told them today that their interior play was really, really solid. So what we need to do is pressure their guards. And when we talk about that, you got to look at Jade, you got to look at Sharice, you got to look at Sarah, you got to look at Jerica. They really applied some pressure in the full court for us. And then somebody that, I watch a lot of tape, obviously, and somebody doesn't get enough credit with her defense is Lindsay. Lindsay maybe not be able to get up and get in your shorts tight pressure, but she's very good at reading angles, anticipating, and she hardly ever gets beat on straight line drives. So, that's something we've talked about. I think our perimeter defense, it's a guard league. Division II is a guard division. And if our perimeter kids can continue improving defensively, we're going to give ourselves a chance every night.
Coach, based on our understanding, you guys are going to Southern. Tough games with them all year. You guys swept them last year. Confidence that you guys can beat them? I mean, it's still there. From what we see on the outside looking in, what do you guys need to do to get to Kansas City? Well,
you talk about some post players that can play. Bergie and Maydew. Now Maydew spends a lot of time on the perimeter shooting threes, but Bergie does a really nice job. They got a point guard that if you leave her open, she's going to knock down the 3. They got a wing. She's a great player. It's going to be tough. Obviously, we're 0-2 against them this year. They're going to be ready for us. I think the last time we played them here, we were without 3 of our best kids. But he told me, he said, man, you're going to be tough. I don't want to play at the end of the season. And, it's just a dogfight now. I don't get into home and away. It's who's mentally tough, who's going to execute, who's going to get the 50-50 balls, who's going to make the little plays. That's what we're going to talk a lot in the next 48 hours.
Coach, lastly, you sent out 2 seniors, Jerica and Brianna. How's that feel for you as a coach to see those 2 get a win in the final game?
Well, that's, there was a contemplation about starting those 2 today, which is something I've never done at college. Some other girls on the team and I had talked about it, and as recent as this morning before shoot-around, Jerica and Brianna come to me and say, Coach, this is about the team. It's not about us being seniors and just starting us because. And if that doesn't tell you how sacrificial their heart is and what kind of character they have, I don't know what is. And I just told them, I said, not everybody can be a 40-minute per game player, leading scorer. You've got to have roles on the team. And I said, you 2 have executed your role so well for us to get to this point. We're going to continue taking you on a ride. You deserve that. And they're going to continue to do it. I love those 2 girls. And it's going to be sad whenever that time comes. where they turn the uniform back in, but I love those two girls. And what they're going to do is they're going to go out into the world and they're going to represent us. People are going to want to say, where did you become such a classy human being? And you're going to talk about the parents and their families, and you're going to talk about Lindenwood University and the women's basketball program. And I take a lot of pride in that.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time, and I hope you guys get back to Kansas City.
Thank you, sir.